Those who stand by us in our difficulties are indeed our best friends. It is our duty to be grateful to them. But some people are so mean minded that they neglect those that have shared their difficulties as soon as they come upon prosperous days. In the Jataka tale, neglected wife, the prince of Benares begins to neglect his wife as soon as he knows that the throne is ready for him. He continues to neglect her even after he has become king, and Bodhisattva teaches him a lesson by making the queen reveal the king's meanness in the open court and advising her to leave him. Neglected wife. While Brahmadatta ruled Banaras, Bodhisattva was born as a counselor to the king. On a certain occasion, the king became very angry with his son and banished him from his kingdom. The prince left Banaras with his wife and suffered untold troubles in foreign lands for a long time. On several occasions, the prince had no roof over his head. He had to go without food. His dutiful wife shared these hardships without complaining. As time passed, King Brahmadatta died. The prince was very happy to learn of his father's demise. He could now return to Benares and sit upon the throne. So the prince started for Benares and travelled day and night. In his anxiety to get there as quickly as possible, he neglected to look after his wife's comfort. He forced her to walk as fast as he did and to go without food and sleep as far as possible. However anxious he was to reach Benares, he could not avoid eating. One day, the couple reached a village in a state of great hunger. One of the villagers saw that they had come a long way without food and told the prince to come to his house and accept a food parcel. The prince asked his wife to rest under a tree and went with the villager. He was given a parcel of food which was enough for two. While returning to his wife, the prince said to himself, "This food is just sufficient for the two of us. I don't know when we shall be having our next meal. Banaras is still very far off. It is more important that I should reach Benares. There is no hurry for her. As it is, she is being a hindrance to me. But for her, I should have gone much further by now. I must manage to eat all this food myself." With his mind full of such mean thoughts, the prince returned to his wife. "Here is the food," he told her. "You walk along. I shall catch up with you after my ablutions. Believing him, she wearily walked ahead, and at once the scoundrel ate all the food. Then he made a loose bundle of leaves and caught up with his wife. Look at this mischief, he told her, showing the empty package. Those villagers are rogues. They fooled us with an empty parcel. There is no food inside it. His wife said nothing, but she understood everything. They travelled on for some more days and at last arrived at Banaras. The prince was duly crowned king of Benares. Now, the king had no time at all to think of his wife. Though she had shared all his hardships, he did not feel it necessary to share his happiness with her. He never bothered to inquire whether she had good clothes, good food, and other luxuries. Thus, the queen was completely neglected by the king. She was stricken with sorrow. Bodhisattva, the counselor, noticed the condition of the queen and one day he went to see her. The queen received him appropriately. After entering into good times, the king made several distributions of gifts to all of us, he said. But I haven't received anything yet from the hand of the queen. Sir, the queen replied sadly, I am queen only in name. There is very little difference between me and the palace maids. I had the duty to share the king's misfortune, but not the right to share his fortune. She went on to narrate to Bodhisattva how, on their way to Benares, the king had robbed her of her share of food. Even now, she said, the king does not care to inquire whether I have had my food, what clothes I am wearing, and so on. Do not worry, madam, Bodhisattva said to her, seeing that she was shedding tears. I have suspected this much. I have come to you only to know the truth from you. Now, let me tell you something. Let us repeat our conversation tomorrow at court. I will see that the king stops neglecting you. The next day, the queen was present at court. Bodhisattva accused her in the full court that she had not thought of the poor since she ascended the throne. Then the queen told the court all that she had told Bodhisattva the previous day and expressed her helplessness. The king was put to shame when she revealed how he had robbed her of her share of food while they were returning to Benares. If the king is neglectful of you, Bodhisattva told her, there is no reason why you should stay with him. In the scriptures, it is said, leave one who has left you. Do not make friends with him. Be not nice to one who frowns at you. Birds leave the fruitless tree and seek other trees. The world is wide. So, you can go out into the world and seek those who have consideration for you. Hearing this, the king got up from the throne and fell at Bodhisattva's feet. O wise counselor, don't put me to shame, he begged. I shall henceforth treat my wife with full respect. I apologize for what I have done. From then onwards, the king treated her with the regard and consideration which she richly deserved. Thank you for listening.